What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Gmias World, and right now we're going to be talking about why I raid sold Randy Moss. Pretty much, it's very, very simple. For those of you guys that have been watching the channel, you should know that EA Sports did not do a really good job with making the Randy Moss this year. He's really pretty much a bum, if you think about it, based on what we know what Randy Moss is. To be totally honest, I don't think we've had a good Randy Moss for a little... It's been a while. It's been a while since we've had a Randy Moss where we're like, yo, we could send him out on a streak and it's one-on-one and the dude's going to take care of business. Obviously, with the Gmias streak, you can Moss as long as somebody is 6'4" and above. I've shown you guys that, but he's not overall a good card. So what I'm going to show you guys real quickly is I raid sold him and we went after Plaxico. And some of you guys are going to say, yo, but Gmia, what's the deal? You know, Plaxico is a little bit slower. Why would you do that? There's a lot involved with that for that actual question. As far as like why I would do it, we're gonna go ahead and talk about a few things, but I raid sold him for $280. Now, when you look at that price and you think about the fact that Randy Moss is known in history as one of the most feared wide receivers in the league, it looks kind of low based on what the other cards are going for. And there's a reason for that, right? So let's go take a look at it really quickly so you guys can more or less understand what's going on. We're going to take a look at his most recent card, and then I'm going to show you why Plaxico is probably the move to go. Now look, this is another thing that's pretty much interesting. If you're a Steelers theme team, wide receivers, you don't have an issue right now. You honestly 100% do not have an issue. You are balling, okay? Because your receivers are physical, they hold their blocks on run plays, and you're just having a fun time, all right? So what I had him as a 97 speed on my Raiders theme team. Obviously, any team that he played for, you get that additional +2, and I got the strategy cards. Okay, the strategy cards we've discussed many times. Some of you guys are still asking about it. Check out my videos right here at Gmias World on YouTube to find out more about the strategy cards and how they can be useful to you. But if you look at things like his run block, he's not like, he's just like a skinny, frail dude out there, not really doing much. You know, his deep route running is not as high as Brandon Marshall's when it's maxed out. It's a lot of things that go into it to where it's like, this is an imposter. This ain't Randy Moss. Why would Brandon Marshall have higher deep route running than the greatest deep threat in the history of the NFL? It doesn't make any sense. But we all come back to the same conclusion. The EA ratings team, they do whatever they want, and it is what it is. But for me, I immediately noticed that he's just not that good. All right, the 97 speed, again, if you run bunch and you have him on the bunch side in the slot, I guess you could send him out on crossers and do other weird stuff, but he's just not that guy. All right, so we went with Plaxico Burress. How good has he been? I think he's been awesome for us. All right, I think he's done what he's supposed to do. Not only does he hold his blocks, but he'll get open and he doesn't really have like really, really crazy numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like his acceleration being 92, I definitely don't like that, but 95 speed is really, really good for a 6'5" receiver. And if you play, Giant theme teams, Steeler theme teams, you know what I'm saying? This guy, he's for you, dude. You check it out. Jets, Giants, Steelers, he's ready to go. So if you guys have any of those theme teams, you guys can rock with it and get him up to a 97 speed. But for me, with just the 95, he does just enough of what I need. Now, let me go down to the run block and the 65. And some of you guys might say, yeah, but Gmias, that's still pretty low. Not for a wide receiver. A wide receiver is going to hold a corner very, very solidly on run plays. And you'll be able to get, you know, a decent amount of yardage off of that. And that's very important because if you start to wonder why, you know, your run plays are getting stopped in the backfield, other than your offensive line, the outside guys are very important. What some people may do, they may get like a wide check and stuff like that, like more stronger, more physical tight ends to be out there, but I need somebody that can burn you deep on the outside, which is why I generally keep the wide receivers out there. So if that's something that you're looking to do, that's fine and well, but I'm just letting you guys understand, you need to be able to run the ball just in certain situations, and having a physical wide receiver is the key. Now, let's take a look at Brandon Marshallson. Okay, so Marshallson is a guy that, you know, we don't really remember him being a deep, a deep threat, but he's a 98 deep route running as opposed to what Randy Moss was. And it's annoying and it doesn't really make a lot of sense, but that's what EA determined it to be. All of his other ratings, everything about him, he's stronger, he's bigger, he's just a better player, 79 run block. So you're looking at two receivers, even if you wanted to hide Randy Moss on your team, right? And say, look, I'm only going to use him as a guy I pass to, whatever. It still hurts you when you need to get a run play off, when you just need simple blocking. You're not going to get it. And that's what I want you guys to understand. The bigger physical receivers this year, they're just way too good. And that's just what it is. And you have to make the decision early because Randy Moss is a set piece, which means you can complete the set to get him. So that's why his price is going to be relatively low going forward. It's something that people don't really realize until you actually get into a game and it's like, yo, this dude Randy Moss is garbage. Why is that? Well, EA Sports tends to make the cards that are more easily accessible play trash-like in a lot of different situations. So I don't think that they're going to remove the most feared. It may be archived later as the year goes on, and you have to go to the archives to find it. But Randy Moss is going to be available for you to make through sets. The only thing that's going to happen is either he's going to go up in price because he may get another card, later on, and this card might go up, whatever. That's the only thing that may happen, but he's still going to be similar to what he is now. Even if they give him the 99 deep route running, he's not going to be better than the new card for Brandon Marshall or even Plaxico. It just won't work out. This is not the year where he's like that really good outside deep threat the way that we all expect him to be. It's just not what it is. So the longer you keep him, the more you're probably going to lose. And that's just what it is. So I would get rid of him if you're playing an offense where you may run the ball. Like, for instance, right? I've been telling you guys this for a while. The run game is very, very OP. It's just for the fact that a lot of you guys don't have the right core players there. Plaxico Burress and Brandon Marshall in an iPro set is like dangerous, bro. It is nasty because both of those guys can get honorary linemen, and it can be really, really bad if you really want to go all out and run the ball. Now, I think that matchup nightmare is something that you guys should have, but if you guys feel that you don't want to do, you don't want to be OP, like the run game is not going to be your primary focus, then obviously you would go another route. You wouldn't need this. Because for me, I don't run the ball a lot because it's so easy to pass. But it's very, very easy to run the ball as well. So those are some of the things that you got to really take a look at if you wanted to go OP with it. But matchup nightmare is something that you just need out there. Because the physical receivers, they just do. They go wild. They go wild with matchup nightmare. It's just savage. It's pure savagery out there. And, you guys should probably start using that for the physical receivers, because I think this is a year where the deep in and deep out are garbage. It's just garbage. And randomly your players will drop the ball even when they're wide open. So when you look at that aspect of it, it's very, very difficult to try to assess, what's going to work here, what's going to work there. Just put matchup nightmare on the guy, and that's it. Now, as far as having the tight end apprentice on Darren Waller and bringing Darren Waller back on the squad, that was a decision that had to be made because Jared Cookinson, he just drops the ball randomly for no reason and he sucks. So because of that, that presents an issue for me. And, I went back to Darren Waller, who was a speed point slower. He doesn't have the excel, but he holds onto the ball. Now, his strength is 70, and I believe that Cook is a stronger tight end. Let me just check that real quick, just to make sure, because some of you guys are like, yo, does strength really matter? Does it help? He has a 74 strength. He drops the ball if you look at him. So that's a problem. And that's another addition that I made because I needed to get that done. When you start to see the trends that EA is bringing out, you have to adjust. You need to adjust. And it's as simple as that. Because if you don't, EA is going to have their way with you, and that's pretty much what it is. So Randy Moss is now gone, and he's where he belongs, bro. And for those of you guys that's like, yo, why would you keep Jerry Rice over Randito Moss? Let me show you really quickly, right? You see the run block is another thing. I run trips, so he's in the slot with a 61. That's a decent run block. Way better than whatever 37 or whatever the hell Randy Moss had. And he's one speed point slower. And I'm not mossing with him. I just need him to run routes. So it's simple. And, the problem is solved. So that's it for me right now. You guys make your own decision. I think Plaxico Burress is a really, really good card at this time. You guys make the ultimate decision and find out what you like, and then you go from there. And that's pretty much what, is going to determine how your squad lines up. But if you are a Steelers theme team with Palomalo being released as well, you guys are winning this weekend. I want to thank you guys and girls for watching. Hopefully you're having a great day. I'm going to see you guys soon. One love, y'all.